A rookie diver dies more often on the surface than underwater. Not from drowning, from a decision he made 20 minutes before he ever touched the water. Somewhere below the waves right now, a welder is holding a torch that burns at 7,000 degrees, in water that could kill him with cold in under 10 minutes if the suit fails. He gets paid by the hour, not by the risk. Nobody warns him that those two numbers are never the same thing, and by the time he understands the difference, he's already 10 years and 3 levels deep into a career that changes him more than it pays him. It starts at the bottom, the way it always does. You're 22, maybe 24, fresh out of dive school with a certificate that cost you more than your car is worth. You take the first job anyone offers: surface support, tending lines, running gear, watching another diver's bubbles from a boat while you wait for your turn. The pay is thin, barely better than what you made bartending. You tell yourself it's an investment. You're paying your dues. You watch the senior guys suit up and disappear under black water like it's nothing, and you want that. You want to be trusted the way they're trusted. Then one day, they finally let you go down. 20 feet, maybe 30. Clear water, easy job, patch a pipe, come back up. Your hands shake the whole time, not from cold, from adrenaline. You surface, and everyone acts like it's routine. Nobody claps. Nobody says congratulations. That's how you know you're in. The silence is the initiation. You go home that night, and you don't tell your family how scared you were. You just say it went fine. You start collecting a version of yourself that only your crew gets to see. The paycheck barely moves for the first year or two. You're still cheap labor with a wetsuit, but something else is moving. The fear is starting to change shape. It doesn't disappear. It just stops feeling like fear and starts feeling like Tuesday. Then you get certified. Real commercial diver now, not just support. The pay jumps enough that you notice it in your bank account for the first time. You buy better gear. You buy a truck. You start taking inland jobs, dam inspections, bridge pilings, storm drains thick with silt, so dark you're welding by feel more than sight. You're good at this now. You know it. Your crew knows it. And then you have your first real close call. Maybe a line snags. Maybe visibility drops to 0, and for 4 minutes, you can't find the ladder. And your air gauge is doing math you don't want to do. You make it out. You always make it out. That's the thing about close calls. By definition, you survive them. But something in you doesn't come all the way back up with you. You go home that night and you sit in your truck in the driveway for a long time before you go inside, the engine off, the radio off, just sitting there running. The 4 minutes back through your head on a loop nobody else will ever see. You don't tell your wife. You don't tell your mother. You go inside and you say it was a normal day. And that becomes the pattern. The pay is better now. The respect is better. And the gap between what you say and what actually happened underwater starts to widen every single year. Until one day, you'll look up and realize the gap is the whole job. Then the offer comes. Offshore. Saturation diving. The number they say out loud makes you sit up straight. 6 figures for a rotation. Maybe more. You do the math on the drive home the same way you did after your first raise, and something opens up in your chest. This is it. This is the level that finally makes the risk worth it. Saturation diving means living in a pressurized chamber for weeks at a time, breathing gas that isn't quite air, dropping to depths where sunlight has never once existed. You get paid enormous money to disappear. Not metaphorically, literally. Your family gets a phone call once a day if the schedule allows it. You miss birthdays. You miss the funeral of someone you loved because you were 400 feet down, and there is no version of emergency leave from the bottom of the ocean. You tell yourself this is temporary. A few hard years to build the life you actually want. And for a while, the math works. The account finally looks the way you always pictured it looking. You come up from a rotation with a check that would have seemed impossible 5 years ago. And for about a week, It feels incredible. Then you notice something. You're standing in your own kitchen, home for the first time in a month, and your kid doesn't run to you the way she used to. She glances up, says hey, and goes back to her show. She's not being cold. She's just adjusted to a life where you're not in it most days. The same way you adjusted to darkness 300 feet down. You built a life you can afford and barely inhabit. Nobody warns you that the money and your presence get bought with the exact same hours. And you can't spend those hours twice. The body starts sending its own invoice too. Joints that ache in ways 25-year-old joints don't ache. A ringing in your ears that never fully leaves. You start doing the math differently now. Not what you're earning, what it's costing. So eventually, you step back. Maybe you don't choose to. Maybe a doctor chooses for you. Maybe you just wake up one rotation and know you're done being the guy who disappears. You move into supervising or training the new kids coming up through dive school the way you once did. Wide-eyed, certain the ocean owed them nothing and would take everything. The check is smaller than saturation pay. Noticeably smaller. And somehow, you sleep better than you have in a decade. You're standing on the deck one morning, watching a rookie's bubbles from above. The exact spot you stood 20 years ago, watching someone else. And you realize you're not scared for him the way you were scared for yourself back then. You're just watching, calm, the way the old guys watched you. That night you call your daughter, not because a schedule allows it, but because you can. Any night you want now. She actually talks to you this time, tells you about her day, unprompted, the way kids do when they trust you'll still be there tomorrow to hear the rest of it. That's the level nobody puts in the recruitment posters. Not the biggest paycheck, the one where you finally get to be a person again, on the surface, in the daylight, with people who know your face and not just your bubbles. A rookie diver dies more often on the surface than underwater, from a decision made before he ever touches the water. What decides everything isn't how deep you're willing to go. It's how much of yourself you're willing to trade to get there, and whether you make it back up in time to still recognize what's left. So if you're chasing the deepest job, the biggest number, the level that finally proves something, ask yourself what you're actually buying with those hours, because you can't buy them back once they're gone. If this one hits you, you know someone who needs to hear it. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next dive.